has any staying power. We don't see any stories reach their maturity, and because of this, it becomes so vapid. Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, Overlord, it's series like these where you can see the foundations being laid for a full-blown tale. There is depth, there is characters, there's a thought-out world behind it. It feels like these shows are actually trying to tell a full story rather than coming in with a few interesting ideas and fucking off. ReZero just spent an entire fucking season in one place so they could say, hey, let's have Subaru stop dying so cheaply, let's make Amelia an actual character. And while lots of people may have found the slower progression boring, I respect the fact that I had the confidence to spend the time to really flesh out sides of these characters we never got to see in season 1. And Mushoku Tensei is, well, you already know how I feel about Mushoku Tensei. If there was a show that could lead the charge for all the changes I wanted to see, this could be it. Because unlike most other isekai, the source material is already done. Yes, it has a fucking ending. That's why I hope to God that these types of shows will get the chance to fully follow through with the story they want to tell. Like your Attack on Titans, My Hero Academias, and Demon Slayers, they get the seasons. All the seasons they rightfully deserve. Because I don't feel like we're even close to reaching the peaks these stories could tell. And I think it's only when we do get the chance to see some of these peaks that isekai can start being taken more seriously. I think this is the one thing single-handedly stopping isekai from eating at the big boys table, where we don't have to feel like pointing at these shows we like and say, no guys, this is a good show for an isekai, and instead just saying, no guys, this is just a good show. In conclusion, isekai will never die. He just gets reincarnated into another Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you very much this month to Alpha Sigma, Basil, Dysfunctional Degenerates, Elifal, Ivido, Jeff, Lavados, Manapla, Pain Patchett, Tony Stark, Walt
and for his chat and his fans, but as you can imagine, a lot of women don't find this joke very funny, nor do a lot of other people's fans who don't know Speed. Now, he got eliminated from this E-Date, obviously, and he didn't like that. He started to blame Ash Cash and Aiden, and this is where I start to question a lot of those E-Dates. Do streamers actually take them seriously? I thought they were just for entertainment. Like, they weren't actually gonna get dates with any of these people. Is Speed's reaction fake? This is where Speed towing the line of what's real and what isn't becomes a little tricky for him. He took the joke too far, plain and simple. But now saying Aiden and Ash Cash are kicking you out and that they're wrong for that, this turned into a little beef between Aiden and Speed, which again, I don't know if it's real or not. Speed's joke went viral on various social medias and had a lot of people angry. Ash Cash had a lot of words to say about it on Twitter, rightfully so, but Aiden didn't stand up for Speed because he knew he was wrong. And Speed never really addressed it again. Today, I think they're all good, and Speed hasn't really done an E-Date since then, which is also probably a good thing. I think a little clarity between what is a character and what is real life would help Speed out a lot. He's going to continue to get himself in sticky situations if he keeps being edgy like he is. But I also understand that the lore of not knowing what's real and what isn't is exactly what makes him so interesting. But sometimes you can get lost in the character. You play it so much that you even forget who you really are. I mean, the more crazy he acts and the more his views go up and his chat rewards him, the formula is difficult to maintain because the chat doesn't really care about your well-being. They want to see you push the limits because they don't have to suffer the consequences if you go too far. I understand he's young. It's normal to make mistakes. I bet he'll look back on some clips in a few years and cringe at himself. That's totally normal. But when you're making tons of money off the same exact thing that is causing the controversy, it's hard to make a defense. He seems like a really good kid, obviously very entertaining, and not bad music either. I would hate to see him get lost in this character that he built, but I wish the best for him. And I most definitely can't knock the hustle because 4 million subs in 1 year is insane. But maintaining that high stress, chaotic, and angry character just doesn't really seem like it can last that long. I mean, look at Roy Purdy, who built a brand of being positive, happy-go-lucky, dancing, smiling, wearing bright colors, millions of people around the world loving him for his positive energy, and even he had a tough time maintaining that. But if you want to hear more about that story, check out this video right here. Drink water, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.
Soulja Boy, Big Draco, the first rapper to do literally everything. The founding father of internet rap. He's had an impressive 16-year run, still remaining relevant after all this time. And when Soulja Boy entered the game, he took over. He was the biggest artist in the world. Then 10 years later, he made the biggest comeback in history. Or did he? My name is Patrick CC. Make sure you're hydrated while watching this video. In 2005, 14-year-old DeAndre Way moved to Mississippi where his father bought him a computer and a mic.
My dad, he lives in Mississippi. He was the one that bought the computer for me and the internet for me when I first moved down there.
He would upload his first creations to the website SoundClick. I feel like I have to mention this early on just in case, but most artists, like literally 99% of artists, were not trying to upload their music to the internet in 2005. Most of them were still hustling CDs and trying to do local shows to impress A&Rs and get a record deal. Soulja was finding websites where people were trying to discover new music, back when this wasn't normal. He built his first fan base on SoundClick. It was basically the first SoundCloud. They had charts of buzzing artists and a trending page and things like that. His first real traction from the site came with a song called Doo Doo Head. It's kind of a meme song, but he hit the trending page and started getting a lot of streams. Once the traffic became consistent on SoundClick, he needed to interact with the fan base that he was building. This is where MySpace and YouTube come in. Soulja said in 2008, really all my MySpace views came from SoundClick and my YouTube views came from MySpace. They fed off each other. He uploaded his first YouTube video in March of 2006. Yes, he was the first rapper on YouTube. You could still see his very first video. Among his earliest creations, you'll find skits, vlogs, dance challenges, song promotions, etc. In one of his first videos, you can even see him laying down the foundation for the Crank That dance. He'll probably take credit for it, but the dance trend in hip-hop was well known and a very established thing. But as far as making a dance, putting it on the internet, and then getting other people to do the dance on the internet, he probably started that. 2006 was Soulja's foundation building year. He was uploading to SoundClick, uploading videos to YouTube, posting frequently on his MySpace, and just trying to stay tapped in with his fans. His biggest song at the time was I Got Me Some Vape, which garnered attention from DJs and fans around the country. This would be the song that eventually got him signed. He also generated a good bit of money from SoundClick. This site would allow people to download a song for $1, and then the artist would get 50 cents, and SoundClick would get 50 cents. This is an incredible split. I don't think any site would give you 50% of the revenue ever again. It's unclear how much he made around this time. Soulja said at one point he was getting 19,000 downloads per day, which would make his daily earnings around $10,000. In 2011, he said the number 100 grand.
I generated over $100,000 with SoundClick.
So I think that's probably how much he made from the website. But in today's interviews, he said he was making $25,000 a day.
When I was getting money, it was called SoundClick. Now they got SoundCloud, and I was getting 50,000 downloads a
day. I was charging 99 cents for the song, but they would take a 50% split.
Soulja lies a lot, bruh. Either way, generating that type of revenue while being independent in 2006 was basically unheard of. He amassed over 1 million friends on MySpace, making him the biggest rapper on the most popular social media. This all built up to spring of 2007, where his career would explode. Unfortunately, I think Soulja was always prioritizing feeding the beast and capitalizing on quick money he was making. He was a big quantity over quality type of guy. I mean, to be fair, he was really young. He was like 15, 16 when this was happening. It was so easy for him to just put out music and make a quick buck from it that he just kept doing it, which resulted in a lot of really bad music. Crank That Soulja Boy, the biggest song, still to this day, that Soulja has ever made. He had been doing the Crank That dance for about a year now, so his audience was familiar with it, but when Crank That Soulja Boy dropped, it was the anthem that the Soulja Nation could get behind. The song was exploding on MySpace and YouTube. People all over the world were uploading their versions of the dance. He knew it was a hit. He would upload his songs to illegal streaming sites, disguised as whatever was popular at the time. And I know from firsthand experience, I would try to download a popular song from LimeWire and it would just be a Soulja Boy song. It was honestly how I discovered him. Soulja released his first independent album, unsigned and still major, the album before the album. Just a few weeks later, Soulja signed his first record deal. A producer/DJ known as Mr. Klee Park saw the buzz on MySpace and the massive internet following he had. Klee Park had an imprint with Interscope Records in which the Yin Yang Twins were signed to. Soulja was unlike any other artist at this time. Even Klee Park thought his page was fake, but he already was touring the country and had proof of him doing shows and everyone singing and dancing along. Soulja Boy was the first internet rap star, and Interscope Records took a chance on him. 4 months after Crank That is released, it had been steamrolling through the internet. People were making some of the first viral YouTube memes.
I got a new dance for y'all called Soulja Boy.
Getting millions of views on YouTube before that was normal. Celebrities were dancing to it. The song was massive. In August of 2007, an R&B group by the name of Day 26 did the Crank That dance on TRL, which was the biggest show in hip-hop. The song gained 144,000 downloads that day, and it jumped to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 the following week, and it would stay at #1 for 7 weeks in a row. October 2007. SouljaBoyTellHim.com, his first major album drops, and it peaked at #4 on the Billboard Hot 200, the highest of any of his albums. Soulja Boy was on the radio, Soulja was on 106 & Park, Soulja was on TRL. He was the hottest new rapper in the game. He was selling out shows all over the country, and at the age of 17, he was living a dream built on the internet, something nobody had ever done before. One thing I noticed about Soulja too was he always stressed promoting his MySpace, YouTube, or website. I mean, he legitimately named his first major album SouljaBoyTellHim.com in efforts to drive traffic to the site. He had thousands of daily viewers on his website. He treated his own site like it was a social media. There were forums and places where people could chat with each other and make friends. No algorithms, no other content, full creative control. Honestly, I don't know why more artists today don't utilize that, because it's so powerful. He knew social media was the new landscape for artists to build their careers. He stayed true to his roots. He always prioritized his YouTube channel and staying tapped in with his fans, showing us what his life was like behind the scenes. He also loved video games and would frequently upload videos of him playing them. Yeah, he was the first rapper doing video game content on YouTube. He kept on innovating, trying funny videos, cartoons, vlogs, live show clips, skits, whatever he could do to engage. In 2008, he dropped a bunch of bangers that we all love, including Kiss Me Through the Phone, Birdwalk, and Turn My Swag On. Also, remember the number 678-999-8212? Well, this number was Soulja Boy's promotional number. If you called it or texted it, you would automatically subscribe to Soulja Boy's Say Now account, where he could call or text a mass group of people all at once, whether it was to promote a new record or just say hi. You know, like the thing that every celebrity started doing in 2019.
Man, I'm just gonna give out my number. 917-746-1444.
Difference is Soulja had 4.9 million subscribers on his Say Now account
I got 4.9 million subscribers on my Say Now number.
that he could reach with just one text or a voicemail. But then putting it in the song and making it catchy so that everyone would sing along, this is his most genius marketing tactic that he does not get enough credit for. Soulja has now been on top of the game for a year. He had amassed over 230 million YouTube views, something that I haven't even accomplished yet. He had more views than Columbia Records' whole page.
Most viewed of all time. And then you look where I'm at. I'm #5 of all time, motherfucker. Only person in front of me, Universal Music Group, Mondo Media, Chris Brown, and CBS.
Crank That was 3 times platinum. He had sold millions of ringtones and was making millions of dollars. He dropped his sophomore album, I Soulja Boy Tell Him. Despite having a lot of success on numerous singles throughout the year, the album peaked at #43 on the Billboard Hot 200. Shortly after this album release, there was a home invasion that led to Soulja allegedly shooting somebody 5 times.
I hop out, I start shooting. Bow, 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 bow.
The situation is extremely dodgy. There are multiple sides of the story that do not match up at all, and there's literally not even a police report that backs or says that this even happened. But basically, some dudes ran up in Soulja's house and he shot one of the guys 5 times, and that guy's name was Drew. That's the only thing about the story that both sides agree on. We don't know why it happened, we don't necessarily know how it happened, we don't really know any other details. And without police reports or evidence, it's kind of just up in the air. But Soulja was known as a positive, happy, and non-violent artist. None of his music at the time incited violence, and I'm sure people don't really believe or didn't believe at the time that he was about that life, but he was. And it kind of inspired him to put out one of the hardest tracks ever, called Pow, where he talks about the situation at the end of the song.
6 niggas that ran in my crib, AKs and pistols and shit.
And he followed this with the song What You Know, which again was some of the hardest rapping and street talk we've ever heard from Soulja Boy. For the next 2 years, Soulja did stay very active with his community. He was touring, still selling ringtones, and dancing all over the world, getting cosigns from every major rapper, celebrity, and media outlet. He was selling the most ringtones out of any other rapper. He consistently had a popular song on the radio. And if you look at his record sales or song sales, they're not very high or what you would anticipate them to be, most likely because he made his music so accessible. I mean, he was literally proud of pushing his music through illegal sites. So it would only make sense that his fans would do that to him as well. If someone were to just look at sales, you would think that Soulja Boy's music wasn't doing well. But he was the internet rapper. He was the radio rapper. He was the ringtone rapper. He wasn't the, hey, let me go buy Soulja Boy's album type rapper. Forbes reported that Soulja made $7 million in 2010. This is a nice sum of money. Enough to live off for the next 10 years if invested properly. For For 2 years, Soulja kept on pushing back his highly anticipated third studio album. He changed the name 3 times, pushed back the release date many times, said Justin Bieber, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, Snoop Dogg, and Chris Brown were going to be on the album. But when it finally dropped, November 30th, 2010, The DeAndre Way, Trey Songz, 50 Cent, and Lil B were the big features. And the album sold about 18,000 first week, and only about 56,000 copies total, making it his lowest performing album. I think the combination of this and the home invasion changed him a little bit. He even claims that he was going to quit music, but his mentor and friend 50 Cent convinced him not to. He did say that he had a falling out with the label that signed him, Color Park, and that they didn't provide the resources for the DeAndre Way to succeed. He said they didn't agree with the moves he was making with his own label, Stacks on Deck Money Gang, and that was a big part of the turmoil. In 2011, Soulja toured his album, also dropped 7 mixtapes, all of them with over 20 songs. That's basically a song every other day for an entire year. The music landscape was shifting, the snap era and crunk era was dying, and Soulja's new music just couldn't compete with the likes of Lil Wayne, Drake, Wiz Khalifa, Kanye, and Jay-Z, who were just running the charts. None of his music, new or old, was really being played on the radio. His relevance was just off the strength of the fan base that he built on the internet, which was strong. In 2012, he dropped 7 more mixtapes. In 2 years, Soulja Boy released more music than the entire discography of your favorite rapper. Some of these mixtapes amassed a whopping 70,000 streams total. I don't really know what his plan was, but that was simply way too much music. This is legit the reason why he can say he was the first rapper with this flow, or this style, or this beat, because he actually tried everything and pretty much released everything he's ever recorded. Which is a shame, because I think if Soulja Boy really buckled down, he could have some really great music. Some of his hits were made so effortlessly. Imagine if he really tried. Anyways, 2012 was a weird time because the ringtone era is basically done, but Instagram, Twitter, and Vine were just about to boom. Social media was expanding. It wasn't only just YouTube and MySpace anymore. Soulja had a lot of ground to cover. But one thing he did do in the meantime was show love to all rappers. He worked with Flocka, Gucci Mane, The Game, Sean Kingston, YG. He seemed to have built good relationships and would occasionally give his platform to upcoming rappers. He had a legendary link up with Chief Keef in 2012, and he also famously put on the Migos. Soulja Boy actually gave them the beat to Versace, which was their first big hit. He had already recorded a song to that, but the Migos were sitting on a hit, so he allowed them to do their thing. In 2013, the Migos and Soulja Boy were doing a lot together. He does take credit for their entire career, which is obviously cap, but it's very likely that he got them started and helped them make some good connections. He also finally collaborated with Drake on the track We Made It and produced Yes Bitch for Nicki Minaj. One of my personal favorites, he collabed with Lil Wayne on the song Trigger Finger. But 2013 proved to be the last year of relevance for Soulja for quite a long time. His 2014 started off rough. He was arrested for having a loaded handgun underneath his seat while driving through LA. Thankfully, this only landed him 2 years probation. He decided to lay low for a while. More mixtapes, still laying low. 2016, he was coming closer to his probation ending, and Soulja kind of started to bug out on social media a little bit.
Soulja Boy crazy, Soulja Boy bully, Soulja Boy. Nigga, pull up, nigga!
He started a beef with Lil Yachty, Rico Reckless, Shia LaBeouf, Chris Brown, Southside, Young Chop, Quavo, 50 Cent, everyone on the planet. Y'all thought 6ix9ine had beefs? Soulja started that.
Don't get smoked over a little ass kid beefing over a bitch that I ain't never even met, folk. I swear to God, I'm having 150 shooters in Atlanta, nigga. Damn the address, nigga.
Waving around pistols and Dracos on Instagram, the judge eventually saw it and decided to do a little checkup on Soulja, finding multiple weapons, which led to an extension of his probation. Then the home invasion story that I mentioned before went viral because of the way that Soulja told it on Vlad. A lot of people didn't even know about that story because it happened 8 years prior and it never got taken up legally. Celebrities were doing the hashtag Soulja Boy challenge, where they copied his story and were basically making fun of him.
Take your mask off, it's just a beat. Shot his ass.
It would only get worse for him though. Basically, 2016 was just people laughing at him, and he dropped 8 mixtapes. In 2017, he laid pretty low, avoiding probation violations. He dropped a record low 1 mixtape, which is crazy because from 2013 to 2017, he dropped 20 mixtapes and 3 albums. 2018. Everybody knows Soulja Boy claimed to have the biggest comeback of 2018. The comeback he's referring to is essentially just him releasing 2 albums and 3 mixtapes, and not violating his probation and not getting the internet to laugh at him for an entire year. To Soulja, that was a win. Also, at the end of 2018, he released the Soulja Game. The Soulja Game is basically an overpriced emulator of Nintendo and Sega games. A couple weeks later, he would announce the Soulja Boy Mini Retro